Yes, hello, Jones fans. Today I want to talk about the foxes. Those foxes that you have allowed in your bed. And I want to speak about one particular one. One particular fox that you have allowed open doors in your bedroom. You have opened all those doors. You're the one who have opened. And you will realize by the end of today's video that you are the one who have opened those doors. Let's go a bit deeper. And for me to make it very clear so that you understand what I mean, I'll read a particular story from one of the books that I love reading so much. And this story is called Larcency of Love. The following story is told, I'll read it as it is written. The following story is told of two women who inhabited the same house. The husband of one of them had a member long, thick, and hard, where the husband of the other had, on contrary, that organ retro, insignificant and soft. The first one rose, always present and smiling, that is the first wife. And the other one got up in the morning in tears and vexation. One day the two women were together and spoke of their husbands. The first one said, "I live in the greatest happiness. My bedroom is a couch of bliss. When my husband and I are together in it, it is the witness of our supreme pleasure, of our kisses and embraces, of our joys and amorous sighs. When my husband's member is in my vulva, it stops it up completely. It stretches itself out until it touches the bottom of my V. And it does not take its leave until it has visited every corner, threshold, vestibule, ceiling, and center. When the crisis arrives, it takes its position in the very center of the V, which it floods with tears. It is in this way we quench our fire and appease our passion." The second answered, "I live in the greatest grief. Our bed is a bed of misery. Our coitation is a union of fatigue and trouble, of hate and medication. When my husband's member enters my vulva, there is a space left open. It is so short it cannot touch the bottom. Oh my. When it is in erection, it is twisted always and cannot procure any pressure. Feeble and meager, it can scarcely ejaculate a drop, and its service gives no pressure to any woman." Such was almost the daily conversation which these two women had together. It happened, however, that the woman who had so much cause of complaint thought in her heart how delightful it would be to commit adultery with the other one's husband. She thought to herself, "It must be brought about it, if it be only for once." Then she watched her opportunity until her husband had to be absent for a night from home. In the evening, she made preparation to get her project carried out and perfumed herself with the sweet scents and essence. When the night was advanced to about a third of its duration, she entered noiselessly the chamber in which other woman and her husband were sleeping, and groped her way to her couch. Finding that there was a free space between them, she slipped in. There was scant room, but each of the spouses thought it was the pressure of the other and gave way a little, so she contrived to growl between them. She then quietly waited until the other woman was in profound sleep, and then, approaching the husband, she brought her fresh in contact with his. He awoke, and smelling the perfumed odor vapors which she exhaled. He was in erection at once. He drew her towards him. She said in a low voice, "Let me go to sleep." He answered, "Be quiet. Let me do it. The children will not hear anything." She then pressed close to him so as to get him further away from the wife and said, "Do as you like, but do not awaken the children who are close by." She took this precaution for fear that his wife should wake up. The man, however, roused by the odor of the perfumes, drew her ardently towards himself. She was plump and mellow, and her vulva projecting. He mounted upon her and said, "Take it, the member in your hand as usual." She took it and was astonished at its size and magnificence. Then introduced it in her vulva. The man, however, observed that his member had been taken in entirely, which he had never been able to do with his wife. The woman, on her part, found that she had never received such a benefit from her husband. The man was quite surprised. He worked his will upon her a second and a third time. But his astonishment only increased. At last, he got off her and stretched himself alongside her. As soon as the woman found that he was asleep, she slipped out, left the chamber, and returned to her own. In the morning, the husband, on rising, said to his wife, Your embraces have never seemed so sweet to me as last night. I never breathed such sweet perfumes as those you exhaled." "What embraces? What perfumes are you speaking of?" asked the wife. "I have not a particle of perfume in this house." She called him a storyteller and assured him that he must have been dreaming. He then began to consider whether he might have deceived himself and agreed with his wife that he must actually have dreamed it all. Appreciate, after this, the deceitfulness of women and what they are capable of. You see, John's fun. There's one thing I want you to understand about the foxes. Some of these foxes that are in your marriage, that are almost endangering your marriage, you are the one who invited them in. How did you invite them in? By your mouth. In your group of friends, do they know how your man performs? Yes, you can say some few things, but why go to all the details of explaining how strong, how well endowed your man is? The wolves are not very far from you. The wolves are within you. The foxes are there. And the foxes are going to take away from you what you hold dear to. But because of your mouth, yes, praise your man. He does not want to be praised out there. He wants to hear you praising him. Yes, it is good to feed his ego by praises. Yes, it is good. But him, not your friends. Stop telling your friends how well endowed your man is, how good your man is in bed, because there is a high possibility they might take him away from you. So there is the foxes that you're seeing in your marriage, the wolves that are endangering your bed, they are your mistake. They are your cause. And in every cause, there is effect. So stop complaining. Stop crying. Ask yourself, did I invite the foxes? Did I invite the wolves? John's fans, keep on subscribing. Keep on commenting. And if you feel there's something that you want me to talk about, put it on the comment section. Otherwise, for now, have a lovely time and shut the doors. Let the foxes stay out. Let the wolves stay out. Let the dogs stay